All right, good morning. Everybody doing? I got another movie up. It's an older one, of course, but these are movies that I like too. And I'm not doing it because I like it. I'm doing it because I want to get something up. I can't afford to do the new movies yet, so we're going to go ahead and just do these, and we'll get them all done. I got a couple more to do this series, and then we'll get them all edited and up, and we'll get more done when I get this done. But this movie is called Galaxy Quest, and this is a funny 1999 movie. This is a science fiction comedy. Anyway, who was in this thing that I liked? Tim Allen was star of this, and a lot of pretty good stars in that area was pretty good. But Tim Allen's the reason why I watched this thing in the first place. Okay, so the cast from the 1960 space adventure series was called Galaxy Quest, doing fan tours. The fan tours starred, they give the actors' names in the thing, which you'll figure those out as you go through. But yeah, they were just basically pandering for autographs through these fan experience things, trying to make money. And Tim Allen, as the captain, was all arrogant and selfish and all that fun stuff. So he'd book tours and plays and all that other stuff on his own without the cast and crew, or without his crew, as they called themselves. Then this one, halfway through it, a space aliens saw the TV show and called it Historical Documents, and then they went to space. Or Tim Allen went to space first, and then, he met the bad guy and basically didn't really think that it was a real thing, so he said, fire the phasers, fire the potatoes, throw everything at him. Ends up going back down to his house, gets drunk, founds on the floor, and next day he's up in his Malibu mansion with a big window and looking out, and these guys are back again asking him for his help. So he told them to get a big limo and all that fun stuff, and we'll do it again, and then he'll bring the whole crew. So they held the door open, and they got transported through these pod things, through space and wormholes, and back to the actual Galaxy Quest ship, and then it gets bigger. Then they got to go through the Omega 13, and yes, they actually did have a show like this from the 60s that had chompers and TV show and all that, and it was called Galaxy Quest. But these stars that are in this movie that we're talking about were not in that one, but it was in the 60s, and it is still available to watch. Stupidest show ever, but what the heck. They had this thing called Omega 13 that the bad guys, the lizard people, wanted. They had a beryllium sphere that they had to go get from a planet because they damaged one. They had to go get through the planet, and then they had a Grupnet, or whatever they called the thing, a rock person, and a bunch of little itty-bitty miners with big ears, which were cute little creatures until you saw them in person, and they would be mean, ugly, and everything cute's mean and ugly. And you can just look at the women, but that's the kind of the thing we got to talk about. But yeah, this was a good, funny movie. It had a lot of ideas, and nobody ever knew what the Omega 13 was until a bunch of nerds that were helping the Galaxy Quest crew figure out the ship, because they were mapping the ship, and they were living at home with Mama, and they were still working on it way back up in the 80s from the 1960s show, or 70s, whenever they placed this movie. It's 1960s show that was over, and it was probably the 1970s were running around being silly like this, according to the show. But they did all that, and then towards the end of the movie they showed you what the Omega 13 was, and it turned out to be a pretty good little movie. And our cast and crew were triumphant, and we can give you all kinds of stats on the people that are doing it, but The only reason why I watched the thing is because Tim Allen was in it. It was a pretty good little funny movie for when it came out. But this was DreamWorks Pictures, December 25th, 1999. I didn't put much into it. It came out December 25th, 1999. Oh, you said that, stupid. Then it was 102 minutes. It was United States English. They spent $45 million on this. Pretty good. And then they spent, they got $90.7 million out of the box office. So that was pretty good. I kind of like that too. Anyway, so we'll talk to you on the next one. This is a good movie. Definitely go watch it. But yeah, we're going to call it good here, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Bye now.